Hi. So, for this tutorial, what you're going to need is you don't have to have these exact colours. These are the colours I've chosen. You can go into your own thing and see what colours you've got and even do a different colour scheme. This is just an idea to inspire you. Okay, so I've got Cernit Pearl in black, Cernit Pearl in, is it just green? Green. I've got Sculpting Primo in green pearl, bright green pearl. And I've got some Cernit translucent. And over here I've got some antique bronze metallic. Sorry about the state of it all, but you know what it's like. And I've got some metallic in rust. I've got some in gold, and I've got some in green gold. Okay, that's 4 metallics, 2 pearls, a sculpey, and a translucent. Okay, so what I've done is I've got a cutter that size on my hand. This is what I'm doing. I don't want to make too much of it. So I've got one of each colour except for the pearl green, which I've got 2 because I want that to be a little bit stronger because they're sort of mute colours, aren't they? And down here I've got the black pearl on a number 5 and the translucents 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 translucents. So they're all on the same number 2. This is on number 5, and then I've just got some chrome flakes. You can use gold leaf, whatever you like, just to put something between the shades because we're going to do a Mikumi Gane, okay? So I'll move that over to one side and bring them in as I need them. So I think I'm going to start with black. Now, because this is pearl, obviously, it likes to go walkabouts and reshape itself. So I'm going to add translucent on the black. I think on this one I'm just going to add some gold chrome. And this is a gold, but it's like a dirty gold. I suppose that's the only way I can sort of describe it. And I know the cut. Oh, it has come up quite clear. Yeah. So it's maybe an antique gold. It didn't have a colour name with it, so or if it did, I don't remember it. Okay, I don't want to saturate it, but just want it to show its face here and there. Certainly shown its face all over the table. Look at it. I'll sort that out in a minute. Okay, so there's no particular order to the colours. I'm trying to put a translucent in between each one because I want it quite light. Sorry for any banging. My husband's trying to fix something in the bathroom. He's been going at it an hour now. It's like one little screw, so I hope I don't hear any swearing, bless him. I'm gonna put one of these greens next. Sorry, I'm trying to think of the best, if there is a best order. And then I'm going to go for the, no, I'm going to put a translucent first, aren't I? And then I'm going to add a little bit of the green. I don't know if I'll add it on every one, but I want to make sure I've got a couple of each. Right, so I'm just adding the rest. Another translucent. It's antique bronze. Another translucent. I'll do the green again. I'm going to do the gold. A translucent, just plain. The emerald green. Another translucent, and I'll add the gold. And I'm going to add the green gold, translucent, and the pearl gold. Okay, so that's done. I'm going to pick all this up somewhere. As you know, everything all muddles together, so anything I can pick up is a bonus. Okay, so with this, I'm just going to squeeze it. And wiggle it round a little bit to get some. I'm using a pattern here, probably shouldn't really. I'm just trying to pick up the first thing I saw. Right. So I'm just going to use random shapes just to imprint. I sort of want wiggly, so I've got a few cutters here. I thought I'd implement just random shapes, however you want, depending on what you're looking for. And be rude not to do a couple of balls. That should be more than enough for what I'm looking for. So I'm just going to turn it over, try and keep it somewhat balanced. Just try to see if you can stop air in there. Do you know what I did do? Done it all the wrong way around, haven't I? I haven't even cut and sliced it yet. Oh well, let's see what happens. So now I'm going to show you how not to do Mukume Gali, or how to do it backwards and seeing the result. Because basically I don't personally care, I just want a pattern with translucent in. But this isn't, you do it the other way around. So what you should do before you do the patterns is give it a roll. It's that long since I've done one, I just forgot for a split second. So give it a roll, turn it in half. I'm just not going to do the patterns afterwards now that I've done this. And I'm not going to use all the clay and start again, there's no point, because it still shouldn't affect my end result for this. So I'm going to do a second cut. Oops. Sorry, microphone was slipping. Right. Just trying to think of the best way to do this now. Gonna give it one more cut. I am just gonna ball it here and there just to refresh the pattern. But now is the point where you would be doing all your patterns and all the things I used earlier, you should be doing now. Right, so that's going to do me for this. I'm just going to clean up the surface. Okay, so I rolled out some Cernit Pearl in black on a number 2, which I've just left there to one side. Now this is rested for a while. I'm going to cut it in half and take from inside, I think. Right, what I want here is just some slivers, just some fine slivers. This is all based on the happy accident I did, so I'm going to try and do a version of it. They're a bit thick actually, I need to try and get it a little, the thinner the better I think, because I just want to do a bit like a meandering river down the centre of the cake. This is the piece that's inspired me. And I don't know if you could see it, but I just love that effect there. So that's what's inspired me to do this. So I'm just seeing how it goes. And as I said, the fact that I totally had a brain fog moment and patterned it before I'd rolled it shouldn't make that much difference. And at least you know not to. It's not a tutorial for me, is it? Well, hopefully I learn from it. Take some from over here as well. I really want it fine so the translucency still has an effect. Right, so I'm going to have to roll this twice to do this. This is on number 2, but I want it quite thick, so I'm going to cut it in half. I will re-roll it for the second piece, and hopefully there's no air bubbles there. I'm just going to, yep, there is there. There's one there. Right, so I'm just going to do a little mark to show where the, actually I'm going to have to move this so you can see it clearly, aren't I? Okay, it's better. So I'm just going to do a little mark to show where the piece is going to be. So I know it's going to be there. I also know what this piece, like the other one, going to be cutting about there. So that's where I'm going to, and I want to kind of a thinning and thickening stream meandering through the middle there. So I'm going to lay some pieces. And that's it really for that. So now I'm just going to give it a burnish to flatten it down, as you do with these. Okay, let's get some of this out of the way, ready for the right. I'm just going to get some cling film because I do want this to dome, and I also want it quite thick. Bear with me, I'm just ripping some cling film ready. I also want it to dome. Let me check how that shape is. Yeah, so I'm going to cut this out. I don't want to waste the pearl, so I'm removing as much pearl as I can. It's in high demand. I can't even get any of the pearl white. Why? We're having trouble all over the world, aren't we? So I'm trying to be mindful is all. Right, now because I want it thick, I've got, with normal black pro clay, it's just scrap. I've got a bit of glitter in it, that doesn't matter. I'm putting this on there because I want it quite thick and domed. So that's going to be 2 number 2s and another number 2 all on top of each other. So that is quite a thick piece then. Just going to give it little burnish and a roll. Check I'm happy with that. Yes, I am, but I want a little bit, I don't know, is that high enough? So just ignore me, I'm talking to myself at the moment. No, that's fine, I think. Just cut away the excess of that. Right. Also, that having that normal Pro Black clay underneath helps to stabilize it just a little bit. I mean, I could have leached the Cernit for a few minutes just to dry it out, but I didn't really want to with, I probably should have done the black, but not the coloured. So now I want to work out where I want this, and then I'm going to be adding the pressure I need to add. So it's quite a thick high dome piece, but there is method in what I'm doing. Oops. So I'm just going to remove this piece, put it on the tray for baking, and then I'll be back to do the other one. Okay, so with this one, I've got a heart. I've just done an imprint, 2 lots of number 2 black pearl on top of each other to give it some height. I do need to roll the other black yet. So again, I'm trying to think, I want something to go just through the middle. So this kind of reminded me of a stream going through in the rocks. So I want to sort of create something like that kind of effect. So just I've cut a few more a bit thinner because some of the ones I did just a bit thick for my liking. And don't forget you can stretch them out. So I think I'll go there. Could go there. Now I'll start shaping it a little bit. If I think it needs it. I think I'd like doesn't look organic enough, that's better. So just gonna add that there. I know I'm giving it another layer, but it might give it a bit of depth. Just want to add a little bit of, it always looks so different once you bake it, doesn't it? The colours you think will show won't, and vice versa. So I'm trying to think ahead, but I think my brain's falling for what I can see in front of me too. And let's see, that one there. And I just want to add a little bit more something there. If it's too wide, I'll be able to cover over using the technique I showed you. So it's not a massive deal in that way. Right, just going to add that there. Now, that isn't flat, so I do need to burnish it, but it's going to misshape the heart a little bit. Just want to get rid of the lines that show it hasn't blended. Make sure it all looks blended before I go any further. Okay, so I'm going to add the cling film, just like I did with the other one. No, I'm not. I'm going to roll this first, aren't I, to create a backing. Well, this will have a little bit of pearl in it because I don't think I've got enough plain black, but it doesn't matter because it's a backing and it'll be getting covered one way or another. So I'm just rolling it on a number 2. Just trying to change the angle because at the moment it's a bit long and not wide enough. I don't really want that any wider than it has to be so I can see what's going on underneath there. Right, so that's a number 2 black background, a doubled over 2 lots of number 2 of the black pearl. And I'm going to place that there. burnish over it again. Add the king film. Okay, so I've got a heart here, which I'm hoping to try and misshape because I don't like perfect heart shapes. So I'm going to roughly cut there. In fact, I might even cut it down on the blunt side a bit, just because it's so deep. I don't want the... Oh, it's just broken. I just heard what I didn't want happening. Never mind. Cling film broke before it domed. The funny feeling about that heart one. Stop. Never mind. It's done its job. Okay, so now I also have a heart, which I'm just going to tidy up. I'm going to misshape it a bit. I just don't like that perfect heart look. I like things to be a little bit wonky, and so I'm just pulling that one, push that one in, and then I'll go over it and then tidy it up with the roller in a sec. But I just want to try and get a bit of a new shape first. So that's going up higher there, down there, and I want to twist this a bit, just sort of like that. It's better. So now I'm just going to burnish it and then just go over it gently, not pressure wise, just to check it's even. Okay, so I'm just going to tidy up that till I'm satisfied with it, and then that'll go in the oven with the other piece at the manufacturer's recommended temperature, and I shall see you on the other side. Okay, so they're out of the oven. This one, I've already done what I'm going to do to this one just to show you, and what I do is I just chisel away little pieces of it. Good advice is to put it in hot water, and then that way it chisels much more easily. I am doing it cold just because it went cold, and I'm just going to get on with it. I know how to do it this way. Now, I am not advising you to bring the knife towards yourself. I would say do it taking it away. You might have a better knife than me, something rounded, a chisel tool. You could probably use these sculpting tools if it's warm, if you keep it in hot water. But I do it this way, which is a bad habit, and I'm just not encouraging it, just so you know. So basically what I do is I start off by going around the edge of the piece, and I'm dipping in and out. So I'm just like a scoop, just taking very small scoops around the edge. And that gives it its sort of slight edgy shape, which I really like. It doesn't take much pressure. It's coming off easily. You can also remove any irregularities at the same time. Just keep your eye on it so you can see that you've got a kind of organic consistency. It's a bit of an oxymoron, isn't it? But I think you know what I mean. Okay, so I'm nearly round already. See if you can, I don't know if you can capture at all what the little scoops are doing. Okay, so you know I said don't bring it towards you because you nick yourself, or you could nick yourself. I just nicked myself for the first time, so I'm just putting that on so it's out of the way. And I'm going to go in at a slightly different angle, just bringing it in a bit so it kind of arches round, as you can see, say with that one. So you've got more than one layer, and it's sort of like, I don't know, it looks like stone steps, whatever. And I want it to start, I'm leaving the pattern, and I'm just starting to edge in on the black. And then as I get closer to the pattern, I can decide what pattern I want to keep and what I don't. Okay, so I don't know if there's an angle of the light where you can, yeah, you can see the difference. So if you see what I'm doing, I'm kind of sculpting it round, and it's totally organic. There's no left or right or anything like that. I'm just doing it where I think it needs doing, and I keep trying to check with the light because black is not the easiest colour to see when you're doing this. But like I said, if you do it with hot water, it'll come off a lot easier than this is. Just keep checking and amending where you think might need it, like I've just noticed there. Would like to have another scoop there. Now I'm going to go around this side and do exactly the same. I'm just going to go up to the pattern edge at the moment. Scooping in and out. Now this is where I can look and see if I want to change anything with the pattern. I might take that up there away, and I might just edge that. So I'm just sort of looking as I go, because everybody's will be different, so just decide, weigh it all up as you're going along. Okay, and that one there, I think, I'm not sure whether I want to remove it all or not. See how it goes. Yeah, so if you can sort of see what I'm doing. I probably should have done it with the hot ore anyway to show you. It probably been easier for you watching. There are lots of tutorials out there that show you about sculpting and to use the hot water to make it easier. Just that little bit there. There we go. Let's get rid of that bit of light. So I think that's about it. I'm just going to check it over with the light and then I'll be back ready to do the next bit. Okay, so I've got some black scrap here. I've just rolled it out on a number 4 and I've just got some lace here. It's quite a fine lace. It's only as a guide because I'm going to sort of do my own pattern, which will make sense in a minute. So that's rolled out on number 4, so I'm just putting this lace on top, which I will also roll out on a number 4 again, just to give myself an impression. Hope I've done it straight enough. No, I'm going to redo that, and I'm going to do what I should have done, which is roll it onto the clay first. Okay, so there we go. Forgive me a lot more than I need because I've doubled it over, but it'll be fine. Right. Okay, so I've got a rough template here of some lace, if you can see. Okay, so basically I want to start getting myself, see if I can get it all to hold first. So get you out the way, get you out the way, get you out the way. So I'm just very, very roughly, just as a guide, I'm just literally following the pattern for the end of the lace here. And it's just really rough. I'm not trying to be precise in any way, shape or form. Because I'm going to be sort of creating my own lace anyway, putting holes where I want, just to give that effect. See if we can... just keep shaping and amending as you go with it all. That's just a start, so now I'm just going to get a small needle ball tool, and I'm just going to start making holes under each of these little arches, like I said, very roughly. Don't really know why I'm putting lace by a lake in my picture, but this is how I roll. Never going to change. If it looks nice, I don't care. Okay, so now I'm just going to make my own pattern up. So I'm going to do 3 little dots, and then you can drag, so I can have a long hole. Okay, 1, 2, 3, drag. Stops you getting all the little bits if you just do it that way rather than, you can just pull and do it, but you'll start gathering little crumbs. Okay, so I'm just literally making up my own pattern as I go. Just pick where you want, do what you want, you know. I mean, I'm just going to here, just do a little circle pattern, go back over them to make sure they're thick enough, and then I'm just going to do a few circles there, another in the middle, see what I mean? So I'm going to finish this and then I shall come back because you won't want to watch me do it all. Okay, so you can see what I've done there. So it almost looks like it's a piece of lace, which is really handy, and I'm going to explore doing that with other things. But for now, excuse me, just want to work out where I want to put it. So I'm going to take a little bit of this like this. It's really rough and organic. You really have not got to worry because you should be able to patch up wherever you need to. And I just want that to go there. And I'm going to cut away what I don't want there anyway. So any excess you don't want, remember, you can remove. Okay, so that's that. And when I put it there, I want a nice little rugged edge, which leaves a nice pattern when you use the metallics afterwards. So if I just show you here with this, I'm just dragging it down in little, on purpose, I'm just dragging it down like that. I don't know if you can you see the effect it's giving. So I'm just purposely doing that because I want that effect to show when I use the metallics. Okay. Then I'm just going to go right the same on the other side, and I'm just going to push that down exactly the same. Just a few seconds. Sorry, apparently tea's ready. Okay, so I'll just tidy it up as I go. So there's some there. I can also make more holes if I want. As I go, I can just decide what goes where. So that's that, and then I'm just looking down this side. I'd like a little bit around there, but again, not too much. So I'd like to have a little bit more of the rock showing on this one. So just thinking that's going to be thin there, a little bit thicker thin. So I'm just going to go like that and see what happens. Yeah, I think that'll do for that, but I'm going to put a bit more down the other side now. Okay, so I'm just cutting away where I don't want it. How far does a pattern come? Okay, and there, exactly the same. It is really random, just do whatever you want to do. There's no rhyme or reason with this at all. Okay, so that's 2 bits done, and I think I want to add something there, although yeah, that line's too straight, I need to do something. So take that random piece and see if I can use that. Yeah, should be able to. Just going to put that there, and then cut away any excess. Oh dear, not the bit I just put on there. Right, hopefully that's more or less done, and I can just tidy that up. So I'm just going to go around the edges doing what I said and just tidying it up, and then this will be going back in the oven. I'll also probably put a back on a number 6, which I should have done first, but never mind. Okay, so these 2 pieces are ready to go back in the oven now at manufacturer's recommended temperature. Okay, so I'm back, it's out of the oven. I put the back on a number 6, and there it is at the moment. So the next thing I want to do is add rough and buff. So I'm just using some finger cuts for that. I find it's quite good, and also a cocktail stick for getting in awkward places. So I've done the one, and I'm just going to do the second one because I know you're not going to want to watch me do both on screen. So I'm going to start off with doing the inner edges because I know my fingers won't get in there. So I'm just dragging it across the top bits. Don't need to get into the holes or anything, it's just highlighting where the edge is really. And don't worry if you do get any on there, because you can remove it with acetone. Okay, so I'm just doing all these awkward corners first. You could be much more precise with a toothpick than you can with a brush, because obviously the brush moves and you've got less control. So I find a cocktail stick for anything of this kind of style can be really good. Now have I gone enough? Let's just go over with my finger now. Let's see. Right, I'll put my finger in the middle there, and then just start covering this top surface bit. You'll see it'll all start appearing. Make sure you've literally barely got any on, so it's almost like dry brushing, but with your finger. So you start to see all those little things appear where you were chopping. Like I said, if you do go over it anywhere, you can remove it at this point. So don't try and draw out all the patterns you've made. That's probably the best aim. I really love this effect from the sculpting. It's a bit too much on there, I think. I particularly want it to look nice here, so I'm going to have to put a bit or some bits where I don't want it and then remove it to get the effect I want here. I still think I need to try fingers clean. I still think I need to get in here a bit and accentuate the lines going down and on this side. Right, now to just remove any bits I don't want. So firstly I'm going to sort the top out. I want to keep that gold there if I can, but not only on the edge. Right, so look at the top here. See, sometimes this is where, when I dug in and then back out, if I haven't gone quite deep enough, that's when you get the centre. So I could actually go back in there a bit deeper to get a better look. Or I could just leave it, so I'll see what I think in a minute. There's the odd bits here that I think I will be going back to do, and I'm just going to take it around the edges there, and then just do the back. I love this look. I mean, it's horses for courses, isn't it? But okay. So I'm just going to leave them to dry for 10 minutes, and I will go over them again just to make sure I've got any bits I don't want gone. And then I'm going to literally resin just the coloured parts of both of them, and then I shall be back. Okay, so I've just finished off the bits. As I said, I would resin the fronts, and what I did there was I just added a little emerald sort of green diamond just to set it off. So I just used the findings to finish it off, and I've just hung that on a gold bail. Okay, so that's the front. Turn it around. It's the back, and you can see all your patterns down the side, both sides. They stand out nice. So I'm really pleased with that. And then the other piece, which was similar thing, I've just put that on ribbon cord with a bronze veil this time, and that's exactly the same. It's got your edgings, which really look nice. They really do, and they're on the top as well. Okay, that's the back. So let me just put that back out. Yeah, so there they are. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.